Hello again, you're welcome to this class. Last class we talked about layer panel features, so today we're going to talk about some layer tools. So the layer tools are very interesting because the layer tools you can create many transformations with each layer. So I'm going to draw a new shape to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So we have this. The first list we have here is the layer transform. The layer transform is literally what it says. It moves the layer around. It moves everything inside the layer together. So if I have two shapes in my layer, this tool will move everything together. And mind you, this is moving all the shapes in the layer, not the shapes themselves. Okay, so this is moving the layer itself as a container and not the shapes themselves. That's different from this. This tool transforms the point itself, but this tool transforms everything in the layer. So take note of that. Secondly, we have this option, which is the set origin. The set origin is the center point from which every layer is rotated or translated. So a good example would be to use, I will click and make this the origin point. Okay, so when I go back here and then I rotate, it will rotate from that origin point. So that could be very useful when you're trying to animate like a wheel or something that has a very defined origin point. Okay, so next up we use this tool, rotate XY layer. We can sort of create a 3D rotation, 3D view for our layer. Now mind you, all of these attributes can be animated, so I will give an example. First of all, let's reset. Every tool has a reset option here, so I'm going to reset, and then I'll come here. I'll probably want to delete this shape because I want to demonstrate the next tool, which is the photo path tool. But first and foremost, just to show you how this works, let's reset the origin point back here, and then I could animate. Like I said, this is the beginning of my animation, and maybe at this 3-second mark it should come around here. So if I were to play it, you will see the triangle moves in that direction. The next tool we have is the follow path tool. I will demonstrate this with another layer. Let's call this path. I'm going to draw a shape. Let's just use this as an example. Let's disable autofill. I don't want a stroke. I don't want this either. I want an invisible stroke. So I'm going to draw a stroke like this. Okay, that's my stroke. So I want this shape to follow this stroke. All right. How do I do that? First and foremost, I would want to delete all the keyframes so I don't get confused. I'm going to highlight this and delete. So to follow the path, I would use the follow path tool, and I will select this one that pops up, which is this, and from here you could see now that I could animate this along the path. So let's say this is the beginning of my animation, and somewhere around here, because I had that set before, I could delete this, for example. Let's see, from the beginning. So let's say this is the beginning of my animation here. So let's start from here. Okay, then let's say somewhere like here we have the end. So we have the shape going in this direction. All right, I could also ensure that the shape rotates along the path, so it's not just a very straight looking object. So I could open up my layer settings and then enable this option, rotate with path. Press apply, and now the shape rotates by the path. That's quite interesting. So play around with this, try and create something, maybe create a nice little animation. Let's see what you could come up with. Okay, next up we have another very interesting tool, which is a layer selector tool. I will demonstrate this using this example. So let's say we have a very complex scene of a character with many layers. Okay, and let's say I want to select one layer from this character. I don't know what layer this is. I could use this option, which is the layer selector tool, and then I click a layer, and then it opens up that layer in my layer stack, which is right here. As you can see, that's the layer. So I could go over and adjust the layer to what I want. Okay, so this tool helps us find a layer in a very complex scene. Alright, so the next tool is the text tool, which is quite simple. The text tool creates text like we've discussed before now. Alright, next up we have the eyedropper tool. This tool is different from this tool here because the eyedropper tool helps us copy all the attributes of a shape to a new shape. So it copies the fill, the stroke, and everything else. Okay, while these only copy one attribute per time. Okay, so I'll demonstrate this. So let's say I draw a triangle here with this color and everything. So to copy the attributes, first and foremost, I would make sure I select this shape with the select shape tool. Okay, I click this, and then I come here and select the attribute, and you see it changes the attribute of that shape to the other, which is very helpful. Okay, so next class we are going to talk about the timeline and go a little bit deeper. So I'll see you then.